Welcome to the BumbleKast. I'm your host, Ian Flynn, the Bumble King, and joining me as always is my Bumble co-host, Kyle, JCRB Krause.
We're here for a special Friday episode. What makes it more special than any other Friday episode? I don't know. We'll find out, maybe. Let's find out together.
It's because you can buy yourself your own BumbleKast dice over Ko-fi.com/BumbleKast/shop.
Oh, yeah, that is very special. That is a good thing you can do on Friday. Or you can do that any day, actually. It doesn't have to be Friday. In fact, you probably get them sooner if you order before Friday, because there's 2 business day shipping on those.
Oh,
and the weekend is not business days, even though we do a lot of business on the weekends.
We do.
Yes.
It's a freelancer. Yeah, we do.
But even still, regardless, we're here. We're going to answer some questions, and we're going to have a good time. So let's do it. All the questions this week come to us from our August 2022 Q&A live stream. So if you missed that and you didn't get your question answered during that one, you want to stick right here, and hopefully we'll get to yours. Here's a question to start us off from Twilord. Is there anything I can do to help further equip you to give different fictional characters Digimon partners in the future?
I think you gave me a pretty robust cheat sheet when you did your BumbleKast mini last month.
Yes.
Pretty much I just should keep that on file, and if the question comes in, pull it up and reference it. Maybe not something to do on the fly, like on a live session, because you don't want me to be sitting there reading through a document while everyone's waiting for me to come up with an answer. But, you know, for a regular old BumbleKast, I could do a little bit of research and thinking ahead of time, presumably.
Yeah.
If I have the time.
Yeah. Well, could. Here's one from Peter M. Maria's body is found, and it is decided that she be given a proper burial and memorial. Shadow is asked to give a eulogy at the ceremony. Does he do it? If so, what would he say?
I don't think so, and not in the current type of characterization that he has. I don't think he's the type to go before a crowd and speak like that. His mourning for Maria, his connection to her was a very personal and very private thing, and that's not something he's going to want to share with anybody, whether it's for his own personal reasons or the fact that they don't deserve it.
Mm-hmm.
You know, she wasn't your friend. You didn't even know her. That was 50 years ago, and you want me to share my thoughts on it? No, screw you. It was our friendship, our life together, and I'm keeping it. It's mine. He would grieve in his own personal, quiet way, but I don't think he would, go up and eulogize in front of folks. I just don't think that's who he is.
Well, I guess. Study Vibes is here with a question. What do you think each Sonic character's favorite musical would be?
See, my musical knowledge is limited.
What does Starline think of Man of La Mancha?
Inspirational. A little disheartening to see how many people think that was a Disney villain moment, but I mean, I guess at its core, it is.
In a way,
it is.
Yeah.
But it's not Disney. Please look it up, because Peter O'Toole did a far better job than I did.
It's a fantastic song. I was like, wow, dang, you chose a great song.
Like Man of La Mancha itself is just manly song. But I don't know whole musicals.
Whose favorite is South Park the movie? That's a musical, right?
Sure.
Effectively.
Maybe Surge. She likes all the swearing and people dying.
Yeah.
She laughs especially hard when Kenny dies, and Kid is a little unnerved that she's laughing at the sidekick's brutal demise that much.
Oh no. Kit likes whatever musical Surge tells him to like, right?
I don't know. It's hard for me to pick like just a musical itself.
Yeah.
In part because of my limited repertoire, but
I'm not sure myself, because I don't know much about musicals. Like, I don't know who likes Hamilton. Anybody? I don't know.
Like, who really is out there listening to South Pacific?
My mom.
Or Cats. Nothing about Rent really screams Sonic to me.
No. What about I could do
I
this
don't
all
know,
day from the Marvel movies?
Good Lord. That was exquisite parody.
It was.
I don't know. I'm not seeing how to tie these two threads together. Maybe on another day I'd find the inspiration. But sorry, I'm not seeing the link here.
Yeah. My musical knowledge is very limited. I'm sorry. Waiting to respond as a question. Would there be any possibility of connecting Bean to the Battlebird since they're both classic? He looks awful similar to Speedy and shares an affinity for bombs with the Great Battle Cuckoo.
I was definitely leaning hard into that in the pre-reboot Archie days.
Yeah.
But from here, I don't know. Because we actually have Bean kind of sort of back-ish.
Yes. I want more.
And, I do too. And I would love to see the Battlebirds come back in full form. I don't know if that connection will be made. I would be interested to see if that came about, or if, because it was technically an idea that was introduced in Archie canon, if that poisoned the well and it can't be done now. I don't know.
Well, is your characterization of him from Archie kind of carried over? So,
but yeah, there's that.
So it's not entirely off the table. So, I would like to see it. Here's a question from Raphael C. Is Sonic Runners story mode canon? It's made by Sonic Team, and it's the only game explaining why are the wisps on Sonic's world.
No, it is not.
Why not?
Because it's a dead game.
Yeah. So are a lot of other Sonic games that are considered canon.
Yeah, but there's no way to play it anymore outside of fan efforts. Or the vastly inferior version they put out afterwards.
Well, there's no way to play. Well, I guess. Okay, there is a way to play Knuckles Chaotic still, I guess. I don't know. I'm not trying to argue with you. I'm just being pedantic and dumb.
I mean, I have nothing against Runners. It was my favorite mobile Sonic game, period. And I really wish it hadn't died off. I enjoyed it greatly and really wanted to know what the leaked assets would have been. But yeah, as far as I know, non-canon.
Well, here's one from Creative Cavi. Yo, you two. Yeah, you. What's your favorite pun? You have to choose only one? I don't know mine.
Well, honestly. When you try to tell a joke that it's so bad that the room gets so quiet, you could hear a pun drop.
Damn it. You got me.
I don't know. What's the distinction between a joke and a pun, though? Is it the length? Is it the delivery?
I don't know.
Is it just the wordplay?
I don't know.
You heard the one about the 3 strings in the bar, right?
No.
3 strings walk up to a bar and they see a sign in the window saying no strings allowed. The first one says, "Oh, screw that, I'm going to drink." Hops in, gets thrown right out. Second one tries to sneak in. He gets thrown right out. Third one ties off the very top, messes up the very ends of the string, comes on in. The bartender starts giving him a funny look and says, "Are you a string?" And he goes, "No, I'm afraid not."
Ian?
Uh-huh.
Here's a question from Without a Plan.
Magical. Do continue.
Ian, if there were another Summer of Sonic in the UK, would you attend? I'm trying to will one into existence by gathering interest.
Depends on a lot of factors. Depends on where COVID is when
it's everywhere.
Such a show. On how it's doing, what my financial situation is, what factors at home are like, what my work schedule is. There'd be a lot of things to consider. Right now, I'm not traveling at all. So if you're planning in the immediate future, sorry, no. But I'm not going to say no forever because who knows what the future will bring.
Yes. Fingers crossed. We got a question from Necromage. Did Bell hold a grudge against Dr. Starline before his crushing defeat?
Yeah, it was kind of hard to find the right way to convey it, but she was shocked at the brutality of what happened, but she's not sad about it. She's sad at the general prospect of a loss of life, but not really broken up over him, if you get me.
No. I don't think anybody is, really. Not in universe, at least. We got a question here from True Cosmic Digilabs. Hey, Ian and Kyle, do you think Big has a little sister Amy's age, and when are we going to meet her?
No. But I would be amused to meet Little. Or Small.
Small.
S-M-O-L?
Smalls. We had Smalls, which is Big. Anti-Big,
yeah, it was
right?
evil Big, but...
Yeah. Smalls the kitten? Small the kitten?
Yeah, all right.
I don't know.
I'll get behind it.
When are we going to meet her? I don't know. When you write it. Not you, Ian. I'm talking to True Cosmic. We got a question from Cruel Alchemist. Is there any chance the IDW comics will connect themselves to any future games?
Maybe.
Is there any chance that the IDW comics have already connected themselves to any future games?
Not in the direction of comic into game.
I don't know about that. You just seem... It's very... that's very suspicious. Here's one from Marlboro. Don't know if this has been asked, so apologies in advance if it has, but is Motobud's deactivation temporary, or should we have appreciated him more while he was around?
I would want to double check with Evan, but I'm pretty sure her intention is that Motobud is now a Motodud.
Aw, poor Motobud. He was so friendly. So sad. Gamer Girls Channel 2.0 has a question. So Rough and Tumble have already met Zavok, and I think their interactions were pretty interesting. So, what would the Skunk Brothers' reaction be to the rest of the Deadly Six? Can they keep up with the Zeddy?
It's more like can the Zeddy keep up with them?
They just get exhausted by their constant obnoxiousness.
Oh, yeah, like Zeke would have no patience for their idiocy. They'd be picking on Zor way too much. They'd be raiding the kitchen and pissing off Zamam. They'd be picking fights with Zaz all the time, which would make him happy.
Yeah.
Sure. And then Xena, they would predictably be kind of into her and then fight over her, and then she wouldn't want either of them, so they would hate her, and then they'd kind of get distracted by something else and go off somewhere. And Zavok would really wonder why he brought them along. Did he bring them along? Did they just follow him here? He can't remember.
Well, knowing them, they probably just followed him.
That should be like a one-off or something. Rough and Tumble come to Lost Hex and just inadvertently, accidentally stop the next invasion by the Deadly Six. Just by being such nuisances.
Yeah. Screw this. We got a question from Maple T. What would you want changed in the direction for Tails' character in the future, if he could do anything, mandates aside, and if he was actually allowed to develop?
With Tails, I would like it if they picked a lane and stuck with it. You know, with
that goes for every character, to be honest with you. But Tails,
I feel like is more egregious because he had huge growth in SA1 and SA2, and then Unleashed and onward, he kind of regressed.
Yeah.
And I understand he's still very young, but it feels like once you make that progress, you can't walk it back.
Right. And Tails and Amy are definitely, I think, the two that have gotten this the worst.
Yeah, but I feel like Amy's finally settled into
Yeah.
a nice spot. Tails needs to ideally address the inconsistencies
Yeah.
and then use that as a springboard to move forward.
Right.
At this point, he's graduated from the tag along to the full partner to Sonic. So maybe now he can do something else, maybe try to break out on his own a bit and succeed or fail. Who knows? But maybe since his trajectory has always been parallel to Sonic, maybe go not parallel.
Mm-hmm. Time to build a submarine, kid. Here's a question from Sam S. If Sega made Sonic Adventure 3 and their choices to write it were between you and Shiro Maekawa, would you fight for it or let him have it?
I'm not going to fight anybody for a gig.
Why not? Not even to the death?
No.
Oh.
Because I definitely lose.
Oh, okay.
I'm also not just going to roll over. Well, okay, that's not true. I have handed off gigs.
You have, yes.
In the past, but that's because I know that they are the better people for the job. Which I just walked right into that one, didn't I?
Yep. Be careful with this
not
one.
To say, yeah, that's not to say Maekawa-san is not the right person for the job. They clearly are. They've written some of the best Sonic stories, period. But I also feel like I write good Sonic stories. So if the situation were to arise and I had the opportunity to, pitch, I'd toss my hat in the ring for sure. But, I'm not going to wish ill on anyone, especially them. And if they got the gig, cool. We know we're in for a good Sonic story. It's a win-win.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, sure. Just kind of funny to imagine you fighting over who gets to write for Sonic. Ah! Just silly.
Izuka-san just breaks a pool cue in two and tosses it to us and walks out of the room, Joker style.
Yeah. He's just fed up with this garbage. He's done with your shit, Flynn. Zarek Studios has a question. With Marine finally getting introduced to the comic, it seems we pretty much have the entire modern post-adventure cast introduced. Any characters you want to explore more of, given the chance?
Well, now that we've got everybody, I just want to play with all the toys.
Mm-hmm.
You saw how much fun the 2022 annual was.
Let's have more of that.
Yeah. We have a nice, robust stable of characters and heroes and villains and stuff. Let's use it. Let's explore it. Let's tell some fun stories. Let's go on some fun adventures. All of them. Give me all of it.
Big need. Mash them together. Sir, are you playing with your toys again? I didn't see you playing with your toys. And before we take a break, we're going to answer this question from Certified Chump. White or brown bread?
I'll take either, but I do prefer white.
I will take either, but I prefer brown.
Really?
Yep.
All right.
I like both, but yeah. I mean, it also depends on the context. Like,
sure,
certain breads complement certain things more. So, but in general, I like a good wheat bread. I mean, they're all wheat, but
Oh yeah, I feel like a white bread, a peanut butter and jelly needs to be on white bread.
Yeah, I agree with you on that one. It's good on brown bread, but yeah, there's just something about it. It's that sweetness, I suppose.
Like a turkey bacon sandwich.
Mm-hmm.
I think that should be brown bread.
Yeah, brown complements more savory type sandwiches and stuff. So, yeah, but
if you mix it up, it's not like it's an edible.
No, it's fine. It's delicious. Now I'm hungry.
Well, you can make a sandwich while I take this quick ad break.
Taking a quick break.
Something a little different this week. We have an ad from a patron this time. This one coming from Daniel H. Daniel says, I'd like you to meet Jordan. She's an aspiring filmmaker and cool lady in need of some help. She needs to raise some money for her HRT prescriptions and to move to a more friendly environment. If you could take a moment to visit her GoFundMe page, we'll have a link down in the description, and give a talented artist a helping hand, it would be much appreciated. thank you for your time and take care. And thank you, Daniel, for your ad.
We're back, and we got a question here from Rassilon TD. What would the Moebius counterpart of everyone's favorite Sonic character, Tommy Turtle, be like, and what would be his name? Oh no. Oh no.
Thomas hates Scourge. Has hated him since birth. We're talking Broly's level of Kakarot when it comes to Scourge. And he has suffered so many injuries and transplants and modifications from his near fatal attempts at doing in Scourge over the years that he's barely flesh and blood anymore.
He's more machine now than man.
He is a miserable, cybernetic, hate-fueled tortoise of terror.
So Thomas Tortoise? Is that his name?
Well, wow. Turtles are different from tortoises. He's just Thomas, not Tommy. Tommy's a chummy friendly name. Thomas is here for business. And Scourge really doesn't know his name. Like, he's not even pretending. He legit doesn't know who this guy is.
Or what his problem is. It's no clue.
Scourge pisses everybody off. The list of people who want him dead is a mile long. Who are you? You're not that special.
The day Scourge graced your village was the most important day of your life. But for him, it was Tuesday. Here's one from Matthew B. What would happen if Sally had amnesia and was stranded in a random location for months, like Mr. Tinker and Sonic in the IDW comics?
Assuming that she still retained her abilities, which Sonic and Eggman did, she'd be fine. She'd be able to forage off the land and tend to herself, and she'd have no direction. Probably would be a little unsettled, not knowing who she was or where she was or what happened, but she'd be able to look after herself at least.
Yes. She'd be fine. Here's one from Kasai T. I came again, sorry to be humble, but I thought of another question for Rough and Tumble. How memey or trendy are they? Do they play Among Us, but only when they are both imposters? Or Fortnite?
They're the type of guys who, once they catch on to the meme, it's already a little stale. And they ride it until it's well past its expiration date.
Oh, so me and you.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Oh, no, we were at the forefront of Big Oof, man.
Oh, God.
Here's a question from KCP. If Sonic and Friends were asked to compete in a Family Feud-style game in teams of 3, such as Team Heroes and Team Dark, who would win and who would lose? Who would lose at Family Feud?
That is not only an excellent Sonic Boom episode.
Yes, that's true. Good point.
But if we're even sticking with Monty, that'd be a hell of a lot of fun.
That would be, yeah.
I mean, Team Dark wouldn't get very far because Shadow doesn't want to play.
Team Dark would be like, Shadow would be like, they're not my family.
And Rouge would carry the team because Omega's answers would always involve some form of maim or mutilation, which would be the number one answer at least once.
Of course, you gotta throw Omega a bone.
Team Sonic does fairly well until Sonic and Knuckles are sure of that each one of them is right, but they disagree with each other's answer, and they actually get into a fight over who's right. So Tails might be carrying that team a lot too. Team Rose gets along fine, but Cream is fairly inexperienced and Big is big. So Amy doesn't have a lot to work with there in terms of teamwork. And the Chaotix, well, come on now, they're the Chaotix.
I mean, it's in their name.
But see, Vector is pretty darn sharp and is pretty observant, so he probably would be able to deduce what at least the top two answers are 9 times out of 10. Yeah. So despite the chaos, I think they would win in the end.
What about the Babylon Rogues?
Oh, shoot.
Babylon Rogues versus Chaotix. It's a good one.
Jet doesn't understand the point of the game.
Yeah.
Storm is dumb.
Wave is carrying the team.
But Wave has managed to rig the Yeah, but Waves managed to rig the buzzer so that hers rings in first no matter what. So at least they have time to think.
Good idea.
And then team alternate dimension, we've got Blaze, Silver, and Marine, and they just sweep it because this is the one episode that was still airing in Silver's time. He's memorized
they already watched it.
Blaze and Marine have no idea what any of these references are. They're from a completely different dimension, but Silver's like, boop, I know this one.
Yep. He's cheating is what he's doing.
And Eggman is the Steve Harvey stand-in, of course, complete with the eye rolls and the big reactions and the wandering the set, scandalized at whatever's being said.
Yes. Great. Fantastic.
No sinister plan. He is the star of this show.
Oh,
clearly. So he's fine.
The sinister plan is that he's just enjoying himself and laughing at these idiots who don't know anything. What about Team Hooligan? Would Bark actually ever say anything?
No.
No.
He'd just buzz in. Everyone would look expectantly at him. He'd look expectantly back. Fang would have to come up with the answer.
Yep.
Bean keeps answering the same non sequitur every single time.
Mm-hmm.
It turns out to be right once. Vindication!
Yep. Wow. I like this. We need this to happen at some point somehow. Well, I think we've got enough there, right?
Oh yeah, that's
plenty.
That's at least 3 episodes worth of Family Feud.
At least. These guys, I don't know. It might be more than that. Here's a question from Ashy Slashy. Is there a canon reason why Sonic's appearance changes so drastically between the classic and modern games while still being the same age?
He got older,
but he's the same age.
Shh.
All right. Don't think about it too hard, is what you're saying?
Yeah.
Don't worry about it. Art style shift. That's it. I guess that's all it is. Just a different art style. Spider Mario has a question. So, Mr. Flynn, how do you make sure you know when a character is not overpowered than when they are supposed to have? Than what they are supposed to have? So, interestingly worded question.
Oh, yeah, hold on. I'm deciphering this one. How do you make sure you know when the power is not overkill? If a character isn't more powerful than they should be.
Right. Yeah, I think that's what they mean.
Yeah. For me, it just comes down to research and seeing what they have achieved in the game, or at least in Sonic's context. If in a licensed product, what have they achieved in the game or media, and try not to go beyond that. The problem is with Sonic and a lot of characters, they are crazy overpowered, so you might have to dial them back just a little bit, which is fine with SEGA. They've actually said, make sure that there is peril, and the robots do seem like a genuine threat. So that's not just me putting my own spin on things. But it just comes down to researching the material and being thoughtful about it.
Here's a question from Lord Van Oscaro. Is there a religion based on Chip and Dark Gaia?
I don't think in universe they're representing too much religion in general, but I mean, there's temples, there's manuscripts. I imagine there was some degree of ancient worship.
Ah, yes. Everyone's favorite god, Chip. Metal Skulkbane has a question. To both of you, the worst story you've ever consumed? Something you just hated? If you don't want to point fingers, just tell me what made it so bad.
There was a story that was recommended to me, and I read it purely because I was stranded because of a passport issue, and I literally had nothing else to do. So, aside from get sunburn. So I read this book, and it was a sci-fi dystopia future about this girl and the military killer cyborg thing sent to stop her, and her becoming the champion of the resistance and overthrowing the government and blah, 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 blah. And the story was split so that the chapters alternated between the resistance girl and the cyborg that hated her. And the perspective, and it wasn't just, and when the perspective changed, the tone of voice changed. So the Resistance girl was all told first person, and the cyborg was all told third person.
Oh, okay.
So every chapter you had a narrative change, which was extremely obnoxious. And they spend the entire story hating each other and thinking of ways to kill each other off, even when they have to work together. So, of course, they hook up in the final chapter because secretly they were in love this whole time. It was the most contrived, by the numbers bit of schlock that was just, it was inspirational, really, because if that can be published, anyone can put something out there. So if you're thinking, oh, I don't have what it takes. Yes, you do. You absolutely do. Follow your dream. Grab that star. Publish your stuff. I guarantee you it's better than this. Somebody was paid to put this on a page. Fight. Put your story out there.
Wow. Incredible. I've seen some pretty bad MST3K movies. I mean, like, what even is Manos the Hands of Fate? Do not want. Particularly the creepy ending. Do not want in at all, ever. I mean, it's a very funny episode, but it's also, it's hard to watch. It's just, There
was also a play that Aaliyah and I were gifted tickets to. And the only reason we sat through it was because we were in the middle of the aisle and it would have been too disruptive to get up and leave.
Oh.
But the core premise is not bad. It's that it's after the apocalypse, and that The Simpsons, which has become such a cultural icon.
I feel like you've talked about this before and mentioned it. It was a while ago. It was a while ago, a long time ago.
Has evolved into the new mythology as society rebuilds. And each act is a different era of humanity after the bombs drop or whatever.
Yeah.
And so the first act is, folks remembering a particular episode fondly because everybody's seen The Simpsons. And then the second one is society has gotten to a point where they are recreating the illusion of television down to the commercials because that's what plays are. This is what the traveling troupe does. And then by the end, it's a full, Greek tragedy-esque thing. Yeah. Except it's all based on one particular episode, which was already the lampoon of another movie. And they get the references wrong throughout because they can't make references to what the show was lampooning. And it just gets so far up its own ass and devolves into this tedious bit of it's so bad that my brain's shutting down. I can't even think of the proper words to use to mock and deride it. It was just excruciating.
Yeah. That sounds like it. Jeez.
No shade cast on the cast and crew. The puppetry was excellently crafted and they put their heart and souls into it. They really did their best with the material.
Yeah.
But what really boils me about it is that the core idea is actually rather interesting. That is something that you could explore. It's just the script is so bad.
That does sound terrible. Terrible. So the one I've seen that's like really like it just was really gross and skeevy. It's a movie called The Side Hackers. It's about motocross riding, but with sidecars that have no sidewalls or seats, so you kind of lean with them. Not really relevant to the actual movie. And there's not a heck of a lot going on in the movie. It's just like some greasy guys being gross and greasy, and apparently in the non-MST3K version there's a full-on rape scene, which no thanks.
Ooh,
no thanks. So not a good movie. I do not recommend watching it. I mean, even the MST3K version is hard to sit through. It's just not a good movie at all. Just, no. No. Ugh, gross. And we got a question here from Master of Silence. Is the Chaos War a good name for a fanfic for a Sonic script?
Sure. If it's about chaos and war, that sounds apt to me.
Here's a question from Grim Drago. Which minor Sonic Boom villain, not counting Dave, would you like to bring into IDW or the games? The guy in the tree.
What was it? There was Dreamcaster. He was kind of fun. And what was the name of the computer virus digital villain?
I don't remember.
He had a neat design. I think he showed up like twice.
Nominatus?
Now I can't think of it. Yeah. They don't have a lot to them, but they might be neat to see revived. I mean, you said Sonic Boom, so I'm going to cast the net beyond the TV show. I think Lyric could be revived, resuscitated, reworked.
Mm-hmm.
I think he could be made into a neat Knuckles villain, personally. It would take a great deal of effort. Probably that effort could go towards making something new, but I don't know. I'm a sucker for taking the old broken canon and making it work again. So
the Lyric shall rise again.
Oh, I see what you did there.
Yeah. Why not counting Dave, though? I mean, he's the obvious choice.
Well, yeah, that's because you don't count, because that's the default answer is Dave.
Yeah, okay, fine. And we got a question here from Bonzi Buddy. Hey, buddy, haven't seen you in decades. How you doing? Freaking Bonzi Buddy. Have you ever watched Soul Eater? If so, how would Surgeon Kit interact with Ragnarok and Krona?
Oh, Lord.
I know nothing about Soul Eater, so.
Soul Eater's fun. The anime starts off really strong and then diverges from the manga, and then your mileage may vary. I feel like it kind of lost the thread and got weak towards the end, but that's just me. The point is, a bunch of your high school characters, and one of them, and they're all paired off, and one of them turns into a melee weapon that the other one wields. And
interesting.
It's pretty funny, to be perfectly honest. It's got a very, how would I describe the art style? It's unique, I guess, is the best I can come up with. It's neat. It's at least the first half is worth watching.
Yeah.
So, but Krona and Ragnarok are similar to Surge and Kit in that they are not a healthy relationship between partners, and Surge would not be the best influence on Krona, to put it kindly. And let me put it this way for context, Kyle. Imagine if Kit was the protagonist and Surge was the weapon that he wielded.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
Oh, no.
Yeah. Krona's got problems. Ragnarok is one of them. So I imagine it would lead to lots of violence, because Surge and Ragnarok are not going to tolerate each other. And Kit and Krona are just kind of along for the ride, I guess.
Oh, dear. Oh, dear. I'm scared. I'm scared. But what I'm not scared of is this question from Syed C. You think Game Sonic is an introvert? I don't mean shy, but wanting alone time, not very vocal, inward thinker, and doesn't show real feelings.
No, he's always out there. He's always exploring. He never meets a stranger. You know, whoever he encounters, it's always a friendly interaction.
It's not a binary thing, though, either.
It's not. But I don't see him. I don't see his solitude as one of conscious choice. Like, he just needs time by himself. It's just he kind of goes off on his own.
Yeah. It's not like Shadow. Here's a question from Isaac A. In Bad Guys, we see Starline thinking about what Zavok told him. If Starline started to idolize Zavok like Eggman and didn't betray him, how would that go? Assuming they stuck together after Bad Guys.
That's a fun alternate take. Starline just shifts gears and...
That would be weird, but funny.
But it isn't that big of a stretch because Zavok has the drive and the mercilessness. I mean, if that's the basis of what you want to do with your fan stuff, that is not a bridge too far. So in that case, he wouldn't engineer everything to go screwy on the others, or at least not on Zavok. Zavok wouldn't particularly care that the others were getting potentially screwed over. He would just have to look out for Mimic, because Mimic's the one who uncovered it first.
Right.
And then from there, I guess we would see a team up between Zavok and Starline, because Starline is building his perfect little weapons to tear down the old world. Zavok's all about that kind of destruction.
Wow.
They'd get along.
Wow. Frightening.
Starline starts building, other enhancements for the Deadly Six, get them their energy-based powers back on the regular.
I don't know. That's scary.
The honeymoon wouldn't last because Zavok is all about himself and his people. Starline would be a means to the end, always.
Yeah.
And once Starline clued into that, he would be upset for being spurned again. But you could get some mileage out of that.
He would be crushed. Absolutely. Here's a question from Gem Princess. What was the process of creating Breezy for the reboot comics? Like, where and how did you come up with the design and personality for her, given that it's all really different from her show self?
When we were doing post-reboot and looking at what we could use and what we could utilize, and looking at stuff that the fans enjoyed from the pre-reboot and what we could do to kind of scratch that itch, fill that void for them without just being a direct one-to-one. And we were looking at the extended cast from the cartoon stuff, and Breezy was one of the reoccurring characters in Adventures of, and had a smidgen of a character arc, which kind of put her ahead of a lot of other characters. So we looked at that. We looked at her nature as a robot, but could pass as living, and looked at the idea of the casinos and the seedy underworld and the badniks that weren't used anymore, and just kind of married that all together. She is someone who loves these cast-off robots that Eggman doesn't use anymore. She is all about self-preservation and working for herself, which is a degree of duplicity that she has at the most fundamental levels of the character. And then I believe the design was done by John Gray, which I think took a few passes at, and what you see is obviously the final one.
She's a fantastic character. I miss her.
Did you not do the final? Then who did?
I thought it was either Evan or Diana.
Oh.
I could be wrong.
Well, Aaliyah says it might have been Evan Stanley or Diana Skelly who did the final pass.
Mm-hmm.
But neither of us can remember for sure, so...
It's one of them.
Somebody did the art. That much I'm confident.
Maybe. We don't know. Could have just appeared out of nowhere. Just poof, here it is. No, I don't think so. It's just, I miss Breezy so much. God, I wanted more of her and Honey together. That would have been fantastic. Oh, well. We got one question left, and it's from Mixmaster Monty. How would the residents of Freetown, USA interact with the Sonic cast? Would Strong Bad admire Knuckles' gloves? Would Sonic want to race Homestar? What hijinks would ensue?
Oh, Lord. I don't know if Homestar Runner's non sequiturs would mesh with Sonic.
Yeah, I mean, probably not.
I could not even boom Sonic, as goofy as that is. It's different kinds of humor.
Yeah.
Although I do kind of see the king of town accidentally stumbling into an eggmobile, kind of flying around and crashing and stuff. How'd I get this thing out of first gear? I mean, Bubs is actually the only one familiar with any of them. Oh, yeah, I do business with the black market chow all the time.
Oh, yes, of course. Yes. Yeah.
I mean, sure, Homestar and Sonic would go for a race, except Sonic is able to lap him instantly.
Would lap him multiple times over, like, very quickly.
But Homestar's too stupid to notice, so he crosses the finish line while Sonic is just coming up behind him for another lap and assumes that he won.
Of course. Do Big and Homestar strike up a conversation?
Hey there, Reggie. What kind of poem do you have on your flat tax? I don't know what you're talking about. And yes, Strong Bad would teach Knuckles how to type with boxing gloves on his hand.
Good. Knuckles would be like, typing? What's that? Computers?
There's a running gag of Sonic busting up various badniks and the cheat popping out each time.
Yes. Wee.
The cheat, you need to stop climbing into those things. I mean, it's kind of badass. He's got like the little tire and the little winglings. Gotta have the winglings.
Gotta have those. Oh man. See, you could do it. It's still doable.
Oh, look at me. I got all 7 Chaos Emeralds.
Oh no.
Emeralds. I got the shiny things.
Oh no. Not Super Coat C.
Now he's surrounded by like yellow jiggity jaggities and he's floating like 2 inches off the ground. I've never felt so powerful.
He has no idea what he's doing. Wow.
He just floats there because he can't figure out how to move. He's not touching the ground.
Yeah. It's like, I don't understand. Oh man. Well, that would be fun. See, you can still make it work.
He could. I'm sure the Brothers Chaps would come up with some excellent stuff.
Oh yeah. No doubt about that.
I mean, I know I would pay a shiny dollar to see Team Dark and the Cheat Commandos team up.
Yes. Brilliant. You are a genius, sir. I salute you. That needs to happen. Give him that shiny dollar. All right, we're at the end of this episode.
We are. But before we go, we need to give a big thank you to all the folks who support the show over at patreon.com/BumbleKast, Ko-fi.com/BumbleKast, and our YouTube patrons. Big thank you to Daniel H., Alex P., James K., John B., Jennifer R., Robotin Combs, Samuel P., Sam Cybercat, Torchbound, Mike B., Dave M., Coupling Crew 128, Duas Disdin, Jay Frost, Salute Your Cat, Andrew D., Hero of Light 13, Professor Scruffy Matt, Ryan D., Chris A., Sonny, John M., Nunny, Jib, Don B., Yummy M., Lee H.K., Lisa M., Fiona M., Chevelle, Invade Turbo Tunas, Sonic, Ben W., Blue Title Gamer, Keeper of Monsters, Tick Tick, Axis, Xanderoni the Painter, Final Neil, Scurvy Pirate Hog, Jonathan Inkpants is missing his actual pants, the name is X, Justin S., Solera Stain, Nimmer, Godzilla, Dadler the Dalek, Chaos Universe, Sonic Legacy, Daniel B., Ava Arctic, Pedanti Cat, Dove, Red the Supernamic, Arc Fighter, Quaggle Gaggle, Chad, Nondle, Professor Rye, Jack the Animator, Cameron H., Les, Jennifer H., Sapphire Scarletta, Alphamon or Yukon, Joshua S., Omega Watt, Preston M., Sonic 84, Noah S., Finest Cacophony, Alex GS, Corjiro Highwind, Supersonic Fan, Awesome Cakester, Radry, Dapper Shinks, Just a Mountain Soul, Callan Q, Red Wolf, Ty H, Starlight Sec, and Tails, Maddie H, KJB, John the Real Waluigi, DeRucival, In Zephyr, Cosmic Cooking Hunter 77, Mox, The Marble Gardener, Owen BD, Lemur Chicken, Wild 48, T Ranger, Twilord, Ryle 74, King Toasty, Miles the Prower, Navarre, Exidel, Agent Kaz, For Sonic Fan, Lewis J, Michael P, Rhythm Raccoon, The Disgayan, Fenris Asker, Pap, Delta God 77, Miggy Sawdust, Pigdan 20, Ty Cyan, Jamal S, Curly Quills, Oz Jam, Shimmy M, Josiah H, Angela V, Lacey M, Unlikely Veronica, Fang the Werehog, Caleb, Phi, Nova Polyduo, Timon B, Thievius, Smiley 21, The Flower Garden, Sammy S, Give Up Your Children Separate, Bowser Studios, Tetsu Knife, Sterling Sonic, Crowbo, Sonic Mania 2099, Thigoff, Hadronus, Nils, Chaos Sonic 1, Sky the Desu, Supernova, Indebend, Superior Pizza, Charlie B, Chaos Shadow, Sonic Padge, The Internet Person, The Shadow Emperor, Shining Nova, The Cartoonist, Buttered Noodles, Frost the White Lion, Danny the Light, Ryoko Shion, Metamode, Wheels 282 Hedgehog.
Thank you guys so much, as always, for your support. And thank you out there for listening to the show, enjoying it, sharing it with your friends, or even if you don't like it and you're still sharing it with your friends, hey, that's cool too. Yeah, whatever gets us views, man.
We'll see you Monday for the next round of Priority Q&A. Until then, be good to yourselves, be good to each other, and we will see you next time on the BumbleKast.
The algorithm is a fickle mistress, man. Take what you can get.
Do not fight me. Let me know when we're ready to go for number 3.
Fight me. Fight me, microphone. Fight me.
You've been listening to the BumbleKast, a co-production of Bumble King Comics and the KNGI Network. Original theme music composed by Ken Coda Snyder. Remixed intro by T-Lopes. Find out more information, along with podcast feeder links, MP3 downloads, and more at bumbleking.com and kngi.org.
I actually bought one of the remaining sets of Cheat Commandos off the Homestar Runner store recently.
Really?
And I recently got Rouge and Omega in the mail, so I've been half tempted to do like a little action figure story time. Reynolds is like, oh goodness, it's a femme fatale lady type of the feminine variety. I hope she doesn't seduce me to get all the secrets. And she's like, your password's 1234. Oh, ham biscuits.
Oh no. I love it. Please.
You tiny squishy animal, what is your designation? I'm gun haver, because I have a gun. You, I like you.
Awesome. But they never hit anything, do they? Like would Omega be like, my weapons are useless here?
What Commander would be angry that they're not using red lasers.
Oh, well, yeah.
That's how it goes.
Yeah.
They have the blue lasers. They have the red lasers. What are these yellow lasers? You're not playing by the rules.
It's true. Uh-oh. Uh-oh.
They save the day, and Gunhaver's like, you three are all right. You're welcome to join the Cheat Commandos. And they're like, no, thanks. We've already been commissioned for another job. We need to liberate the dictatorship. Apparently its population is Tyre.
Gotta get out of there. Oh, boy. Oh, man. That's great. Do that, if you have the time. I know you don't, but, still. Darn, the Cheat Commandos figures are, in fact, sold out. Darn.
Oh, they did run out.
Yep.
Okay. I'm glad I grabbed them when I did.
Yeah, they're a bit pricey, but, probably worth it.
Well, the thing is, I couldn't remember if I already had a pack, and I'm like, if I don't get them and they're gone forever, I'm going to regret it. So,
yeah.
If I happen to come across a bonus pack, I'll let you know.
All right. No worries. All right. Well, I think we're done for today, so
We absolutely are.
let's head on out of here.
Yep. Thank you guys for joining us, and we will see you Wednesday. We have another early recording session because I am yet again busy on Thursday.
Yep. Hopefully I don't break anything between now and then, and all of a sudden we can't record on Wednesday.
Well, we'll see how that goes.
I won't. I will do my best not to do that. Anyway, see you guys later.
Bye.
Bye.